think they liked it.
It seems.
I'll start off with a couple of questions, and then perhaps the audience can join in the conversation. The very obvious question to ask Suleiman Deme, who is the main actor in the film. How did you discover him? How did you encounter him? And at what point did you decide this is a story to make a film about?
Well, first I wanted to tell a story about these young people. You know, they used to go to Cameroon. They take petrol from there, and then they swim in the night. You know, and they bring this petrol, and then they sell it in the street, like in small bottles. You know, because as you know, in the whole world, I mean, petrol is a kind of luxury. You know, probably considered like that, you know, and so I had a script, but I wasn't satisfied, you know. It was a kind of film noir, and in 2011 I was in Burkina Faso, in Ouagadougou, during a festival called FESPACO, and I saw Suleiman Deme on stage. It was a dance show, and you know, imagine this African night. You know, you have small lights on the stage, and then arrived this guy dancing. He has at this time like blonde hair, you know, like football player, etc. It's very trendy, you know, and it was so magical, you know, and I said to myself, this is my character maybe, and so I decided to rewrite, you know, the whole script. And it becomes a kind of portrait of a young man dancing nowadays in Africa. And after the dance show, I want to see him, and I asked if he would like to act in the film. And he said, you know, I don't know anything about cinema, but if you think that I'm capable to do it, so let's do it. You know, and I think that it started like that, you know. Yeah.
And had he had any acting experience before this? Because obviously performance as a dancer, but in terms of taking direction and taking lines, what was the level of his experience?
You know, it was really the first time, you know, for him. He has never acted, and it's the same case for Anaïs Monori, you know, Mimi in the film. But I like, you know, working with non-professional actors sometimes, and this is a risk I used to take in every film, you know, just like trying to find something else, you know, and in this film, you know, with Suleiman Deme, he has something very pure and very naive, and I wanted to keep that, I mean, to catch that, you know, so I'm sorry. Modern times.
Suleiman is ringing.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, sorry. Voilà, c'est bon, I'm going to switch it off. Yeah.
We could put it through and we can have a nice chat with the person. And watching again the ending of the film, which I love the ending, because it's to me a very ambiguous ending, because on one hand it's a very happy ending, the bad guy is dead, but on the other hand, Grigri is looking, thinking, if I put a foot wrong here, then I could be the next one getting
Absolutely. Hit. Yeah, because Musa is out of frame, you know, he's off, so he could, well, it was an idea just like to let Hollywood people just imagine the following story and maybe making Grigri too, you know. Well, this is a joke, it's not very, but so yeah, it's what I wanted to say is just even in this village, it's not really a happy end because they are part of this community and they share this secret. And as long as you have this secret, so you become a kind of, you know, in a kind of, there is a pact, you say that? In a
pact,
yeah, a pact, you know, and so they ran away, you know, and they were looking for something like freedom, and I think that it's not really the place for freedom also, because as soon as he could repair radios he interested the community because he has something, you know, to do for the community. And so they did it, but they become a kind, I mean, prisoner in a way of this deal, you know, of this secret, yeah, this pact, yeah.
And at the end, as we see, it's a strong women at the end. You know, it's what we would say a matriarchal or a, you know, dominated in that sense. And he's kind of welcomed into this community because he's come with Mimi and things like this. But as I say, he's not smiling at the end. But it's, you know, we can be optimistic for him. Maybe things will be good now.
Absolutely, yeah, we can think that. But I think that it's not really optimistic for me. It's just like they discover a place where no one judges them, you know, because as a prostitute or as a handicap, when they used to walk in the street or something, you know, everyone look at them twice, you know, because they are not like normal person. And I think that in daily life, we have some people, we look at them once and then twice. And you have other people who are just like normal, you know. And so in this village, there is not a problem, you know. Everyone considers them as part of the community, and a part of their problem has been resolved. But I don't think that they will be well integrated. I think that there will be problems, but this is another story, let's say that, yeah.
A 6-hour version of the film, perhaps. The film has obviously had great success. It was in Cannes, showing at lots of festivals. What has been the exposure of the film in the places where it was made? Have the people in these areas been able to see the film, and what has been the reaction?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the film, you know, opened in Chad on the 10th of July last year, at the same time also in Paris, you know, and we have just one cinema theater, you know, and the film runs until the end of the year, so for 6 months, you know. It was a huge success. It was my biggest success in Chad, you know, so, and also we screened the movie in Cameroon, in Burkina Faso, and the premiere in Burkina Faso was full, you know. We refused around 200 people, you know, and it was really great, so that's it. But we showed the film also in the village where we shot the film, and there was a big fiesta, you know. It was really, it was, I mean, something you can't forget it, you know. You're building just a kind of memory, and you bring cinema there, like you bring light, you know, and yeah, it was very moving, you know, yeah, and it's good, it's nice to feel that you transform people just by making a film, you know, telling their story, and let them just be proud, you know, and yeah.
When I first met Mahamat was in Edinburgh in 2002. I interviewed him when he had the film Abuna, Our Father, and you were talking about how in Chad at that point there were no cinemas because, you know, the problem that had been had there. So now there is one cinema. This is some progress. So what is the future for the cinema in Chad? You are a little bit more optimistic because back then it was really a dark moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm optimistic. I don't know if you told me about, you gave me this idea of what not cinema. And, you know, at this time I was a little bit desperate by the situation in Chad. But when I won the jury prize in Cannes in 2010, you know, the president asked me to come to see him, and I saw the whole government, you know, after that. And when I came back from Cannes, I was just like, you know, I have like several ministers waiting for me, you know, at the airport, you know, from the plane, and there was official cars, people dancing, and it was a huge, I mean, it was incredible. And then they started like, we want to see this movie and we don't have any cinema theater. And they decided just to renovate, you know, to renovate the only cinema we had in Jamena. And so it opened in January 2011, And we screened for the first time a screening round with the president, a lot of official people, and etc. And they remembered that when I had this film called Dry Season, Darat. I won the jury prize in Venice, and they wanted to see the movie, but we didn't have any place, so we screened the movie at the Palace of the President. And at this time, there was a lot of problems of security and etc. And so we screened the movie at noon, and we have a lot of sun, so the sun was shining and etc. And it was forbidden to close, the curtains because of problem of security, because you cannot put the president in the darkness, because you never know, So we screened the movie in a wall, white wall. There was no, it was very curious, very bizarre. And at the film, the color is very white, of the film, so it was impossible to see the image. But the whole government was there, just like, wow, as the president was sitting there, so no one could move, and I think that they started like, this situation is absurd and we have to find a solution. And so they decided to renovate this cinema theater called Normandie, Le Normandie. It's a region of France, and after that they asked me to think about, a film school, and I think that next year we will have our film school for the first time.
And we will, of course, be showing the results of this film school here in Otok in 5 years, I think. This is the plan. So there are, obviously, you're in a way flying the flag for Cinema of Chad, great success in these big festivals. There are other younger directors who are inspired by this, but they don't have the chance to make the films, possibly.
Yeah, there are a lot of people, inspired, young people. They want to make films, they make films, on digital, all these small cameras, and the fact is just like they don't have the culture, they don't really know about history of cinema, so this is the big problem, and even the big problem, for a young African filmmaker or a young African who desire to make a film, is just we don't have a place where you can have a kind of cinematheque of the whole films. And the difference is when you have like a young person from Slovenia who wants to study cinema, he can watch the whole films made in Slovenia. In Africa, it's impossible. So sometimes you start and you don't know what has been done before you. And as soon as you make a film, you believe that you invent, the warm water or hot water, and it's not the case. So that's why I think that it's very important to have a film school there, and let people maybe know about their history. The history of not only African cinema, but the whole cinema. Yeah.
Perhaps somebody has a question for Mahamat in the middle.
Oui.
Je ne sais pas si je vais vous poser la question en français ou en anglais, but let's do it in English. So, I am interested, you show in the film young people going back to the countryside, as we say. Is it considered as a way out for young people feeling back in the city and then they go back to the villages? Is it now common that's coming back to the countryside?
No,
in Chad or in another country? Is it considered as because the young, they want to go to the city, then now they go from the city to the countryside?
Absolutely, but it's not, a reality. Just consider it just like a fiction, and the village is not really a village. They were looking for something, another space. It was just like very difficult to stay in this city, and then they move. And Mimi has a friend in this village, yes. And so they came there. Yeah, it's just the place where you can be because you have a friend.
So it's just an opportunity for them.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a kind of, this village exists but you have, I mean, women married with kids, but it's a kind of utopia, you know. I wanted a village with women, a kind of gynécée, what we say in French, just giving the whole power maybe to the woman. And first they are just like a chorus, you know, an anti-chorus, commenting all the actions, and then they start like coming on stage, and then the story, you know, and but because they decided to make an intervention. I'm sorry.
Dramatic intervention.
Absolutely, yeah.
The dance sequences, which are, you know, each of the dance sequences is different, and each one sort of propels a story in a different way. I can't remember if you've done many dance sequences before in your films.
Yeah.
What was your approach, and did you have inspiration? Did you watch previous dance films to get the lighting, of course, is crucial for dance, and the editing. What was your ethos in the dance sequences?
Well, no, I had no reference. I wanted something really very, very fresh, you know, and very naive. And we didn't work with Suleiman Demey, you know. It was every time I tell him just like, I give him one word, like love, childhood or something, and then he start like thinking, and then he said, well, I have something, let's go. So that's why I'm shooting just like in one shot, you know. There is no, even Suleiman Demey couldn't, you know, repeat the same choreography, because it's just like something done in the moment, you know. Yeah. So, but for the light, I wanted for the night, I wanted how to say, to keep this Chadian night, because in Chad we have a problem of electricity. We have petrol, but we have a big problem of electricity. It has been like 20 years, and every time you're just like having a discussion like that, and then poof, no electricity. So it's just like when I'm in Chad, you know, in the night, when you're driving, you don't see people, and then you have just like poof, you know, and it's just like funny, but in the same time, it's not, because I mean, black faces in this this darkness, and then you have just like ghost people, puff, puff, and sometimes you have accident. They see you, but you can't see them very well. I mean, you can't see me, it's just like me, you know. And so it was really curious, and I wanted to translate this really big epic, you know, night. I wanted to experience this. Yeah, that was my goal. Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
Another question, perhaps at the very back.
I'm interested in what the language situation is like in Chad. Like we hear people speaking French to each other and also Arabic. Is that realistic, or what?
There's a question about the language in the film. French and Arabic is spoken.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's realistic, because we have two official languages, Arabic and French. So when you go to school in Chad, you study, I mean, literary Arabic, because we have the common Arabic, you know, what we call Chadian Arabic, because it's mixed with African words and etc. And you have French language also. So this is the reality. You know, it's like in Algeria, when people speak Arabic, I mean, when you see people from Algeria speaking in Arabic, they have always words in French. It's impossible, because sometimes you don't have the words also in your language, you know, because you haven't invented, I mean, like a spoon, or I don't know, you know, you don't use it, and so you don't have the word, you know. So.
Is there any education in the native languages?
No, they are starting. I read something, so they want in the 2 upcoming years, you know, they want to start like learning, you know, local languages, because it seems that when you know your own language, I mean your mother language, so you're more stronger to study other languages. But French is just like a mother language, you know, because we start to study French at 2 years, you know, so it's common. It's part of, let's say, our heritage. Yeah.
And you mentioned Cannes and Grigri and the Screaming Man winning the jury prize. You were also on the jury, I think I might say. You were a member of the jury. Was that as much fun as it looks from the outside, or was it hard work?
Yeah, it was very fun. Yeah, and when you spend like 10 days with Bob De Niro, it's just like fantastic, And I used to say I am the man who used to be with Robert De Niro. That's my because we had, because of the age, you need at the end of every screening to go to the toilet. Young people don't need that, So we were always after the screening going to toilet and then having just like. So how was the film? Nice. You wash your hands and then. Well, okay, see you later. And it was great, So, so I spent this, intimate times.
But did you ever consider approaching him with the possibility of appearing in one of your special films?
Yeah, absolutely. I asked that, but he is a little bit like, done with shooting and etc. And he's a little bit like his grandfather now, and he has a little boy like he's 9. He was in 2011 9 years old, and he told me, now I want to spend time with my family and with my kid because I used to travel a lot and etc. But he was really open to come there. But it has no sense, if you bring De Niro in Chad, you have to think about a real, something very, believable. If not, it's just like cinema for cinema, and I can't, you cannot bring De Niro and just make something, So.
Will Suleiman make other films now? Is he interested in acting more for the camera?
No, he didn't make another film. He's just like his statue of dancer. He used to dance in bars, and now he has a kind of contract. He became just like kind of professional. And now when he has a performance, he has a contract. He has his own company. There are 3 people. And he tried to create a choreography about his own story, because he has been abandoned when he was 7 years old and etc. And he lose his leg because of just an injection, someone, comment on dit, infirmier?
A nurse?
A nurse, yeah. And he had an injection and a bad one, on the nerve here, and he loses his leg because of that, and this guy is an example of the desire of survival, because then, everyone said, well, this is the will of Allah, and just sit down, and he was just like watching to his comrades, playing and etc. And he decided just, to walk, and he fall down several times and etc. And after 10, 12, maybe 13 times, then he could, walk. And his leg is just like, it's terrible. But so it is a true story, and I like, stories about these people because they are the majority in Africa. It's not just like because I don't like middle class people or etc. But I like these people. They have to deal with real, problems, and they are trying to survive and to struggle day by day. And this courage is very important to show, I think.
I think we have time for one last question, if anybody has a last question. Otherwise, we have to vacate the cinema for the next excitement. Please join me in thanking and for bringing this very special film to Slovenia, Mahamat, Saley, Haroun.
Thank you.